One
It's a nice
of the
story.
great conversations we have is when I'm editing the scripts, and I'm like, yeah, you didn't tell the reader this, and his answer is always, "It's coming, it's coming."
Yeah.
And at first, I was a little nervous about that, and nope, Steven's got it. He's got the whole thing in his head, and if you don't know the answer to something in an issue, he's right. It's coming.
Welcome to Storycomic Presents, where we interview amazing storytellers and artists. This is episode 473. I'm your host, Barney Smith of Storycomic.com, and we're excited to have back with us the talented creative team of Fugitive Poem Comics, Christian De Matteo and Stephen Beccia.
How you doing? How you doing, Barney?
How's it going, guys?
What's happening?
Yeah. All right, and Christian, you're here. You brought in a guest with us. It's as we say, Stephen Beccia, who is a writer, and he is also the writer for Dirty Living, which is not one of your Fugitive Poem anthologies. This is something completely different, huh?
Yeah, we've been up to a lot. We've got 4 anthologies out in the Containment Breach series. We put out the first issue of a mini series called River, and that's written by myself and drawn by James. We put out Blood Valkyrie in Vegas, which is a gory grindhouse splattercore one shot, which just went we did a tattoo and a horror con over the weekend, and it was like hot proverbial hotcakes. It was great. But while all this has been going on, we started working with Stephen Beccia and Ryan Santos about 3 years ago. I met Ryan at Terrificon, and I got an ash can of this comic he was doing with this dude named Stephen Beccia called Dirty Living. And we fell in love with it. And we kept in touch with Stephen. And once we got to a place where we could start producing something, we approached them to be our first project, our first production project. And this book is amazing. We just dropped issue 4 yesterday. Wow. It is only available on the fugitivepoems.com website. It is only $2.99 an issue. So every 3 months you get charged $2.99. Every 3 months is a new issue. So right now there are 4 issues, and the funny thing about the way that Squarespace works is if you subscribe right now for $2.99, you're going to get all 4 issues.
Right. Yeah.
Because Squarespace does not have any other options for that. There's no catch-up option. But I've been yelled at for the price, but I wanted everyone to see this. This book is doing wonderfully, and Stephen will tell you what it's about. But we're so happy with it that we are going to be going into distribution in comic shops with it after the first arc is done. So it's beautiful. People are loving it. And I'm really excited to have Stephen and Ryan on our team. But I'll let Stephen and you talk about what the hell it actually is.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's I always think about this. They always, put the writer on the spot, like, hey, what's this about? And we have to just elevator pitch it, right? And my initial elevator pitch was it was like The Departed meets Reanimator. I think that was my first elevator pitch. Nice, short and simple. But really, it's about an honest detective who is trying to take down the mob in a corrupt police force, and he's got all forces against him. I mean, besides the fact that he is, he likes to drink whiskey. So he's got that on his monkey on his back. And then he's got this sexy stalker assassin who's screwing up everything for him. And then all of a sudden the undead are, walking and messing up things for him. So he's, and yeah, see, this is the thing. Like, there's so much going on, and I'm trying to narrow it down. And then there's this drug that's hit the streets. So he's battling all these things. He's just, punched it at every level,
Hmm.
So
now, So talk to us a little bit about. You said that you have four issues are out so far, correct?
Yes, 4 as of yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. Now, so what I love about Dirty Living is that there's already four issues. One of the, and not to create any umbrage for when I go to those comic book conventions, somebody has issue number one of something, and that's all they have.
Yeah.
And I've always been hesitant to pick it up because when you read something and you get into the characters, you're invested into it and you want to see more.
Yeah.
And it's so hard when you see that and you're like, ah man, I hope there's more. But you're already on issue number 4, and you mentioned too, Christian too. There's a story arc. So how many? So Steven, how many?
Yeah.
How many issues are in the first arc?
It's going to be 6.
Okay.
Because we decided we're gonna bring the arc to 6, and then we're gonna get distribution on these. So, but there's plenty more. I mean, issue 5's already been written, approved. It's going to be well on its way now with Ryan, and then I've got most of issue 6 written, but I'm it's hard because there's so much to it, and you really want to punch him in the face and say, and leave him hanging, at the same time. So, Ryan and I are going to get together to discuss that next week, but it's there's a lot there, but there's so much more of the story, and there's other spin-offs that can happen. So I just, can't get the art done fast enough, really. It's,
Right.
like the story comes out, boom, boom, boom. And then, uh, and, Ryan is an amazing illustrator artist, and his work, he's nonstop, for 3 months, like right up to the last minute, it's crazy, but
So how do you kind of guarantee? I mean, you kind of make the not a guarantee, but a kind of a handshake to and like a commitment to your readers that you're going to come up with an issue every 3 months. Do you have a backlog that you've like a buffer that's kind of giving you some of that?
It is a guarantee.
yeah,
And we have learned quite a bit doing this process. Having that buffer is very important. Ryan is already, the scripts are done way ahead. Ryan is already at work on issue 5, so that there's more time to get this done.
right.
And what's going to happen is we're going to start putting Dirty Living 1 in stores while the second arc continues on the website. And so people can jump in and at different points, but we'll be ahead of the curve with that. Ryan has been fantastic about getting this done. We work with a flatter and a letterer, Keith Gleason, who you mentioned, and they are terrific with their turnaround time. But I got to tell you, Steven and Ryan are machines. Steven, first of all, there are so many moving parts to this story. There's issue 4 is actually surprisingly half not about the main character. We take a turn into somebody else's life, and that person's life and what they do is going to really affect what's going on with Doug and what's being thrown at Doug, the detective. But we get to spend time with this character. It is a wild car chase that Ryan did a beautiful job drawing. So exciting. So Steven's got all these incredible ideas, but they're like cogs. They're all pushing each other forward. And I'm amazed with every issue that I read, every script that I read, how he's moving what forward when it really is sort of paced out like The Wire or The Sopranos or Game of Thrones, where you're following all these different characters, but everything's having an effect on everything else. And then there's Ryan, who is just, he gets it, he sees it, and he does something, almost used a bad word, gosh darn amazing with it. And his imagination, the monsters that he draws. There's this drug on the street, which Stephen could tell you more about, called blood rush. It makes people have hallucinations. and the hallucinations he's coming up with are so wild that I had to ask him in an interview if he was getting too close to the story. Just yeah, these guys are. I am honored to be working with this team. This comic is the fact that this is coming out from Fugitive Poems makes me so proud.
It has different effects on different people, kind of takes on maybe their alter ego. If they're good, maybe it might hit them differently. If they're bad, it might really enhance that inside them. Um, but yeah, I don't know where it all comes from, but Christian, thank you for the words. I appreciate that. Um, and Yeah, I think if I think about my background of what I love to read and what I love, movies. I love a good story. Um, but Stephen King was like huge, where he start you off on one thing, and all of a sudden, boom, we're on some new characters in a different scene, and then you're like, wait, I want to know what happened there, and then you go off to a different place, but then you all come back together, and I love that, you know.
Describe a little bit about just the setting of the series.
Yeah, it's kind of set in Boston. Winter Hill is a real place. It's Whitey Bulger. It was inspired by mob stories that I was always fascinated with, and so I spent a lot of time in Boston. As a matter of fact, the other day I was actually in dirty living territory. And I'm like, oh, I got to just go do a video. Like, this is where you know Doug and such got in a fight, and it's just like all these places that even like the Knocker Locker, which is a strip club. Uh, that was inspired by a place in Boston on the side street. It's just funny, but yeah, it's crime noir, um, grindhouse with this supernatural element to it, I guess. So.
Right. Now, so did you already have, because you mentioned it was six stories, did you already have this written out in advance, already outlined out, or after issue 1 or 2, you're like, all right, let's see where this is going? How did that process work from the writer's perspective?
A little bit of both. I kind of had a lot of it written out, especially this issue 4, Tommy Boy's Ride. I had a lot of that put together. So most of it was there, but it's taken some turns, and for the better. Um, so certain things happen, and Ryan, inspired me on one. I can't talk about it, but is one part of issue 5 that towards the end that was inspired by the cover for 4. So it's it's like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And sometimes I'm like writing, I'm like, oh, this would be cool, so. But a lot of the dialogue was written, not the scenes and the settings, and some new characters came into play, and some characters that were little minor characters became bigger characters. So
Now, how important would you say is that when you're putting this together? Did you have the world created, or did you have the characters created first?
I guess it would be the characters. Doug number one, because it all started with me sitting at home with a glass of whiskey, and I started just talking the narration of the first, exact lines that you read in issue 1 is exactly how I wrote it, and I just started writing it. And so it was all about Doug and his terrible day and what had happened to him on that first day. So it was me developing his character right away.
Right. And did you know like where the setting was going to be, like in a Boston at that point, or was the setting irrelevant when you first started putting that story together?
No, it was always going to be Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that said, is Boston, would you consider Boston one of the characters then in your comic?
Good question. Yeah, I guess I would. Because
Ryan has really made it so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's included a lot of landmarks, and the flavor of this noir Boston is a big part.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you this issue, I don't know. I mean, I always say it. So this is my favorite issue. But if you look at the scenery and the stuff that's going on, especially with the car chase, you're seeing stuff. It's like that's Boston, man. You know it. You know it's the Tobin Bridge. You know some of these landmarks. So it's kind of cool.
Well, hey there. If you're enjoying our podcast, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep this show going. We love hearing from you, so any feedback is welcome. And thank you for being a part of our podcast family and for all your support. It truly means a lot to us. Now, is it Boston set in like modern Boston, or is like a timeless version of Boston, or is like a historical version of Boston?
No, I guess it would be kind of modern because we have cell phones and email and, but like kind of like there's some shows out there that it's like, it's no really, they don't really put a timestamp on it. It's cell phones, but yet the cars look like they're from the 70s.
Yeah.
Like, like Gotham.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that show?
Yeah.
And I'm like, where are we? In what time period are we at? They have cell phones, but this is a car from 70s. So it's kind of like that, maybe to some degree.
Would you say that putting this together, having it take place in Boston, is kind of like your way, Stephen, to have like a love letter to Boston?
I don't know about that, but maybe
because I mean, you think about it, you're expending all of this energy into a location for months and months and months, and your whole mind is wrapped around Boston.
I love my state. I love Boston. And I'm always thinking like, okay, if Netflix picks this up, I know who I want to cast in this. I know where I want it filmed. I get it all down. So yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so what would you say then too, is that, how did you add in a little bit of like the supernatural aspects of that? Was that always part of your plan from the beginning, or is that something that kind of evolved?
No, that was kind of part from the beginning, but it went a little bit over the top from what I originally had in mind, and I love the way it came out. I love the way where it went. Even the whole element of blood rush and how the drug and how that intertwines with the undead.
I interviewed Ryan for our newsletter recently, and I asked if he had any requests of Stephen. What would he want? And his answer was very simple: more monsters. And I think that's been a major influence of Ryan on the series. Is the undead were always going to be part of it, but what were they going to look like? And one thing I'll throw in here is I am so grateful for the relationship that James Lyons and I have as writer and artist and friends. But I see that, and it feels so rare, and it is rare. I mean, we build these stories together. I write them, but then he's integral. I was told over the weekend I've been pronouncing that wrong my whole life. Integral. I like integral better, but that a lot of the ideas he has in his art will then change the story. And Stephen mentioned that earlier with Ryan. They have that relationship too. They are cemented together on this story and just creating together. That Ryan interprets something a certain way, and Stephen sees it and says, yeah, I could write it in that direction now. And it's really cool to watch issue by issue how that evolves. And you really do see the experience expanding with every issue.
How important was it to put in creating the background story and the history of your Boston to put in that place before you started writing?
Everything kind of unfolds as the story unfolds, right? So the background and the city and the setting just kind of comes out as it unleashes. I don't think it was an initial thought right from the beginning.
Right.
I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but yeah, it's just like for me. It was a dialogue, character, setting, and then everything's just it grows. It just blossoms. The organic way that it happens.
Right. But for you as the writer,
Yeah.
do you know the origin of where the supernatural come from?
Oh yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, it's in there. We have it revealed in the story. So
Okay.
it's got to do with a priest, a crazy priest, and yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but it's in there. It's in the story.
Yeah.
One
It's in the
one of the
story.
great conversations we have is when I'm editing the scripts, and I'm like, yeah, you didn't tell the reader this, and his answer is always, "It's coming, it's coming."
Yeah,
And at first, I was a little nervous about that, and nope, Steven's got it. He's got the whole thing in his head, and if you don't know the answer to something in an issue, he's right. It's coming.
it's coming.
And the characters. Yeah, I don't know if you remember the fantastic Battlestar Galactica remake
Hmm.
that they did about 10 years ago. One of the things I loved about that show is that you decide early on which characters you like and which characters you don't, and then all of a sudden, the character you don't like makes the right decision.
Yeah.
And right, they're more complex than you expected, and now you're in a love-hate relationship with them. I find that Steven does that with his characters, where they're just growing and evolving, and they're not two-dimensional at all. uh, and so as you read, some of the "it's coming" situations come out of characters you wouldn't expect. And it's a fantastic read.
Right. And I just gonna make a little bit of a note for you, just a little bit of a correction for you, Christian. You're showing your age. Um, Battlestar Galactica, the second series came out 20 years ago.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell happened?
I
Where
know.
am
It
I?
came out in 2004. It came out in 2004 and ended in 2009. So,
You know,
How did I get here?
it's crazy when you look at these old shows and you're like, oh, then it came out a couple years ago, or even like for me with music, right? Oh,
yeah.
Pearl Jam's first album, 30 years old. What? No, it's not. Yes, it is.
What stereotypes did you grab a hold of when it came to like supernatural aspects of it, and which ones did you just like completely turn on its head?
Um, well, I don't want to say zombies, because I know Ryan wants to go there, uh, and we are kind of going there, but it's not exactly that. Um, I don't know. I guess I look at all the different stuff I like. Like I do like zombies. I love The Walking Dead, but
Yeah.
I love Sin City. Uh, so the supernaturals come from this is more maybe biblical and
Mm.
demonic. Christian, help me out. It's right.
Yeah,
It's
these are not mindless walking corpses. This is first of all, they're unique to each other. They're very different, which has something to do with this drug blood rush. But they're not mindless. They have purpose of their own twisted accord,
Mm.
and it's different from each other. They have a different amount of intelligence from each other. They're not just brains, brains, brains. They're on some sort of warped, demented mission from their previous understanding of life. They're much more complex than the zombie,
right.
and much more interesting.
They can talk.
Mm.
They're
Yep.
kind of like they're miswired. Um, I
Yes.
mean, they're. I'll give something away because it'll be fine. But so Roma Hospod is the priest in our story, and there is one. So he resurrects his mother because his mother was dying of cancer, and this is in issue 1 that he talks a little bit about. But one thing he didn't talk about in issue 1 that I kind of didn't put in, and maybe at some point it will be put in somehow, but Roma comes to visit his mother, and his mother is miswired and cooking up the family dog. She's got parts of the dog all over the counter, and she's just and welcome home, Roma. And she's got, she's stirring up the dog's brains, and and he's just, she was just not right in the head.
Right.
And
I'm picturing this in a big vat of tomato sauce and meatballs,
right,
and a dog's head.
Yeah. So this is where it goes. When he and every resurrection is different, and if it's interacted with some blood rush, and the character, their traits, then you're going to get somebody different. So that's kind of where it comes from.
Folks will have to go to fugitivepoems.com to buy this.
Yeah, and they get it instantly. You're opening an account on our website. Every time you go to my account, every subscription that you've got, and there are going to be more soon to other series, every subscription that you've got will show up there, and you'll be able to forever go to whatever issue you're up to in the series you're on. So right now, if you go there, $2.99 every 3 months, but the first time you pay $2.99 right now, issues 1 through 4 are going to appear. So you could be reading the first 4 issues right now for just $2.99, and then on January 6th, issue 5 is going to drop, and you'll be charged $2.99 again, and boom, $2.99 an issue is nothing. And it's instantly yours. You can read it anywhere, and it's so damn good. And the cool thing about it is that it's all in one place. So you don't have to worry about where you put the book in your house. If you don't remember something, you can pop right back and read it right there. And it's so damn worth it. I'm excited about this book like a fan. I am a fan. It's not like, well, there's a book we're putting out and I'm proud we're producing it. Yeah, no crap, I am. But I also can't wait for the next issue every time. And I get the pleasure of reading the scripts before the book is even made. And it's funny because issue 4 came out, and forgive me, my voice is going. Issue 4 came out, and I'm like, but where's blah, blah, and blah? And Steven's like, dude, that's the script you just read for 5. I'm like, but I want it all now.
I know.
It's so great.
Right. I know. Sometimes I need to have, like you see in the police station, or in some sort of detective thing where they got the string going up, and the main suspects in the middle of the, on the wall, on the bulletin board, and to kind of remember where all the moving parts go. And like, it was the same thing. I had to go back and wait. I'm like, wait a minute, where's this? Oh, that was in that other issue. And I'm trying to keep it all together, and right. But it's hard when you're, 2 issues ahead writing, and then you got to go back and like put some pieces back together or figure it out,
Right.
So,
Stephen, if people want to follow you, do you have a website that people could follow you on?
Well, we have, you can go to our Dirty Living page on Facebook, or I'm actually currently working on my own personal website for my writing, at sjbeccia.com. And you can just search, you can Google my name, and you can find plenty of stuff about me and my music and my, my writing, and also my art.
And his history in adult entertainment.
Yes. At the Knocker Locker. But yeah, so I kind of, I got a lot of irons in the fire, but
once again, go to Fugitive Poems and see all the things that Christian is working on.
It's all there. We've got a new comic that James is drawing right now called Stripper Clip Sally, which is going to be a lot of fun. we're putting that out, and then we're going to put out River 2, and then Stripper Clip Sally 2. We've got a lot going on, a lot in the hopper, and Dirty Living, which we are absolutely dedicated to. We want this out there. One of the very cool things that I can announce on your show is that we have gotten distribution in comic shops. So we're going to be putting out a new magazine called Folklore for the Uninsured. And it's an anthology series, sort of like Containment Breach, but in the vein of heavy metal. And that's going to be going into stores. And then when the first arc of Dirty Living finishes, we'll be putting those out as issues into stores as well. And there's a ton to see. And if you want a controversial grindhouse comic, go to fugitivepoems.com and get your copy of Blood Valkyrie in Vegas. It is not safe for work. It is not safe for humans. You have to be a special, demented type of human being. But if you are, you will absolutely love this book. I wrote it. James did the cover, and an artist named Alex Zapata did the interiors. It's about a young girl that goes to a party that turns into a demonic slaughter, and she has to somehow survive, and then that creature on the cover shows up. It is nonstop grindhouse splattercore action. Nice. A lot of fun. But the big thing that I really want everyone to do is go get your subscription to Dirty Living on fugitivepoems.com, because right now you could be reading issues 1 through 4.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much, Steve, and thank you much, Christian, for coming back on. This has been fantastic. I'm looking forward to the next time you guys come back on.
Yeah,
this was great.
And one more thing to tell readers, because issue 1 and issue 2, because of being such a new writer to comics, I threw a lot of stuff at Ryan in the first 2 issues. So it's more than just an issue. I mean, I think it's like 28 pages on one issue and 20 something. So,
26, yeah.
So it's a little bit extra in issue 1 and issue 2. So you're getting your money's worth for
more than your money's worth.
Yeah, more than your money's worth, for sure.
Yeah.
You don't deserve what you're getting, reader.
And the coffee mug's coming next.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you guys.